So I'm about to do a herbal tasting with the herb called Gotu Kola, and its Latin name is Centella asiatica. So I'm going to read from my college monograph what the different actions are that this herb has, just to give you some idea of the value of this herb before I get into the tasting. So it is tonic and adaptogenic, so it helps to to cope with stress, but it has a cognitive affinity, so it really helps a lot with your ability to think clearly. And I have to say that I have noticed the benefit of it. I'm in my second year, like I just finished my second year essentially of studying herbal medicine, and I did definitely notice in this semester that despite having a really high course load similar to the other years, like this is a 3-year diploma program, but I've been going super fast like all through the summer, so I'm pretty much done even though it's been only 2 years. And I definitely noticed the effect of just being able to stay focused in class and not feel the urge to do 500 things at once, because that's my tendency, is I want to I'm listening to the class and then I'm thinking of something and then I'm like scrolling the internet and just doing multiple things at once. And I noticed that this semester that I'm able to do that less and just focus in on the class more. So I wish I had actually started Gotu Kola in the beginning because I think that could have made a difference for me. But anyways, better late than never, right? It's also an anti-inflammatory, so it can help with any kind of inflammation in the body. In particular, it helps with hypertrophic scars. Those are scars that sit on this top of the skin, and then chronic venous insufficiency. So that is something in particular that I need. I have varicose veins on my legs, and it's been something that I've struggled with since basically I had my first child. So this is a good one for me. So I've made lots of it, which is good. So now I can take it long term. So it's good for the circulation, for capillaries, and it's considered a venous tonic. So I plan to be on this forever, because this is an area of hereditary weakness for me. So I do need to do something for the rest of my life to support the system so that it's not as susceptible to problems with circulation and getting varicose veins. It's also a nervine and sedative, so it helps with just, acute stress. It's also anti-rheumatic, being anti-inflammatory. It's a mild diuretic, hypoglycemic. So if you're having trouble with high blood sugar, it can help with that. And a peripheral vasodilator. So those are its actions. So as a result of those actions, it can be used as a nervous system adaptogen, and helps again for the cardiovascular system. So we got varicose veins, varicose eczema, and dementia as well. It's really good for regenerating tissues. So it helps with wound healing, photo-aged skin, all sorts of skin conditions, dermatitis, slow healing wounds, bruising, eczema, psoriasis. And those are the main things that it is good for. There's no real contraindications for it. In pregnancy, it's classified as B1, which indicates that a limited number of pregnant women have taken this with no malformation. And animal studies have not indicated evidence of increased occurrence of any kind of fetal damage. So there we go. If you're pregnant, ask your midwife before you take that, or your gynecologist, or whatever they're called. It's been a long time since I worked. I used to be a doula, so I really should actually know obstetrician. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. The energetics are pungent, sweet, astringent. And so, we'll see what words come out of my mouth when I do the tasting to see if it's a match with the energetics on this monograph. So I am now going to go through the tasting so you can watch me taste the different ways of extracting Gotu Kola to see how it affects the quality of the tincture. So our assignment was to make a bunch of tinctures in different ways so that we could see the difference in the quality of the results based on the medium in which we made the tinctures. So I have some made with different amounts, percentages of alcohol. I have them made in apple cider vinegar versus alcohol, and then some different methods. So maceration, which is basically just taking the dried herb. You could also use fresh herb, but in this case I use dry herb. And basically you put it in a jar with alcohol and you shake it every single day for about 30 days to 6 weeks until it's ready. And then I also did a percolation tincture, which is something that is done through a dropping funnel. So the extract is made by the alcohol going through the herb from the top down, just kind of like, sort of, I guess, similar idea to how you'd percolate coffee, except for instead of the water coming up through it, it's coming down through the dropping funnel. So every single one of them is going to have a different flavor and color based on how well it extracted. So the first one I did was the apple cider vinegar one. So this one, you can see it looks like apple cider vinegar. I've got my computer out here to actually do the assignment because I have to write down what I'm discovering. So I've already done this one, so I'll just read it to you. So what was interesting about it was the mother of the apple cider vinegar actually grew on top of it when I opened it. So that was kind of funny. So I just skim that off the top and then press it out. And the color, you can see, it's like a reddish brown. It's quite light. So that's one way of knowing that it did not extract nearly as much as it could have medicinally. So different constituents in a plant are going to be extracted based on different mediums. So some things extract better in water, some in alcohol. And then of course you can do the vinegar, but you're not going to get the same effect as with alcohol. You're going to have different constituents. That knowing which constituents are too advanced for me for where I'm at this point. So I'm just in the experimental phase of it to learn it through intuition and taste and smell and sight and my senses, rather than knowing exactly which constituents are being pulled out more in these. So, so the taste to me was kind of like a mix between, this is a weird thing to say, but prunes and green beans. And I don't know, the taste was familiar. That I can guarantee, but yeah, it was hard to describe it. But what was interesting to me about it was it tasted a lot less intense than straight apple cider vinegar. I felt like I could just keep drinking this till it was done. Whereas with plain apple cider vinegar that doesn't have a herb infused into it, you take it and you're like, okay, I'm doing this, for digestion, for probiotics, but there's no enjoyment. This actually was quite good. So I had to stop myself from just finishing the whole thing. Okay, so the next one is the dual extract. So this one was where you're using both water and alcohol to extract, to get the constituents that come out best in water and the constituents that come out best in alcohol, and then infusing them together. So this one, I felt the least confident that it was a good extract, because it felt like when I got the water off of the steaming, it just looked like there was nothing in it. There was no color change. So I thought, I felt like it either did something wrong or it doesn't extract much. I'm not sure. But anyways, I'm going to do the tasting here. So because I have to write it down, I will, I'll be looking away and typing at some points here. So I'm going to use my little sake shot glass. And again, here's the color. You can tell it's definitely more than, in terms of getting constituents out, than apple cider vinegar, because it's darker. Smell. Smells good. Smells like a Gotu Kola tincture. Taste. Yeah, I can definitely tell that it's not just as potent as, like, say, for example, the Percolation tincture. It does taste more watery. I don't know, it's almost like, I keep getting almost this, like, even with the apple cider vinegar, like almost an aftertaste of, I want to say licorice, but it's not licorice. It's hard for me to describe, but it's familiar. I feel like, yeah, it's almost like sweet licorice, actually. Maybe that's what it is. Which is kind of strange to say. So, yeah. Okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to cut it just so you're not sitting here while I figure this out. So I'll do this in a couple different takes. Okay, I'm back. So with that one, the dual extract using water and alcohol. So how I described it was that it is light and goes down easy, and intuitively it feels like it would be a good extract for somebody who's sensitive, because it feels medicinal, but it doesn't feel like bold. It feels like, yeah, if you're somebody who responds like to medicine, then like a small dose gives you a big effect, this might be the kind of tincture that would work well. And so that's what I think. Okay, next one. We have the 25% alcohol. So this will be interesting to compare to this one. So this is 60%. So you can see that they're very different in terms of, one is definitely extracted more constituents than the other, just based on the color. That's very obvious. So let's see if I can tell the difference between the taste. Well, let's start with the smell. Again, we have this, like I said, prune before, like there's like a fruit smell that comes off of this herb. Yeah, this one definitely had more of a, like a fruity smell. This one is a stronger smell. Almost like moving into like a fruit to a vegetable. That's the best way I could describe it in terms of intensity. Okay, now let's go for the taste. So this is the 25% extract. Again, very light. Not bold. That one still, yeah, I can really tell the difference between, like, the extract does have a lighter, even though this is only a 25% one, it's also light, but the other definitely is lighter. Like, and when I'm saying lighter, I'm also describing that more on an energetic level, not even just the flavor. Okay, now I'm going to the 60%. Oh yeah, that's more intense. Can definitely tell there's a lot more alcohol in that one. I actually think I prefer this if I was, I mean, you know, obviously we're not going to sit here and like drink these like alcohol, so like plain. And normally when you take the medicine, you water it down. So, you know, this will be fine, but just having it on its own, it's definitely a harder one to get down. It definitely, it tastes very alcohol-y. Okay, I'll be back. All right. So I would say that the 60% really feels like it overpowers the herb in some way. So that's my like intuition about it. Okay, now we're gonna do the Percolation tincture. So this one is the one that is the strongest, and in the process extracts the most medicinal value. And this was a 40% alcohol. So it's stronger in alcohol than the 25, but not as strong of alcohol as this 60%. But because of the method, it extracts more medicine. So this is what they look like. They look pretty much the same on camera, but the percolation does look a tiny bit darker, even though it's less alcohol than the 60%. So because of the method, it extracted more. So let's have a taste of this one. Smell. Oh, that's much better. The 60% just, it was so overpowering. It was just like all alcohol that, yeah, I feel like this is more medicinal based on how it smells already. It's not nearly as strong, but by the color, you can tell there's as much medicine or more than the 60% maceration. Yes, that's better. I can taste the herb. Whereas with the 60% alcohol one, it was, it just, all I could taste was alcohol, to the point where I wouldn't know necessarily that I was actually having medicine, right? I might think I'm just having a shot of alcohol. So yeah, this is much better. And this was a 1 in 5 tincture. So there was 1 part herb and 5 parts alcohol. And it's still, it's just, yeah, it's as potent as, but not as strong and bold tasting in terms of alcohol, but more so in the herb. You can taste the herb more. So I'm going to say, based on my experience with it, it's a match to the idea that percolation tinctures are more therapeutic. They get more constituents out, but it didn't have to be as strong of alcohol to get that effect. So I really like that. And also the percolation tinctures are ready much faster, whereas the maceration tinctures, they take up to 6 weeks. You got to shake them every day. So that's kind of a hassle. So yeah, there we go. That's my assignment, to make herbs or make the tinctures in a bunch of different ways to see what the effects are and how they feel in my body and how they taste. And yeah, just getting to know the herb in different ways and getting to understand the different methods of extracting the medicine and how that affects the constituents and the experience of using the herb. So there we have it. Gotu Kola, my herbal tasting assignment at Pacific Rim College in the advanced herbal pharmacy class. Bye for now.